Hello and good morning. This is Thursday's lesson, comparing and ordering numbers to 100,000. Although if you're not doing it on Thursday, whenever you're doing it, that's fine. We start off with looking at the place value charts, which we've been working with yesterday. So we've got two numbers here, Rosie's number and Jack's number. Have a little look at it. And the question is asking who has made the greatest number and how do you know? So write down who you think has the biggest number, and then how did you tell that it was the biggest? For B, it's drawing counters on the place value chart to show a number that is greater than both Rosie and Jack's. So with their number, when you've worked out what their numbers are, maybe a good idea to write it down next to it. Draw some counters in here, in these place value columns, so that it's bigger than those two. Okay, for this question, what you might need to do is draw one of these place value column charts on the back of this piece of paper, I haven't got any counters. You might not have any counters at home, so it's asking you to make 4 different numbers on a place value chart. And it's using 5 counters. So you've only got 5. So what you could do is just place them in different places. So you could have all of them in one column. You could have one in each. You could have some in different ones. Or if you wanted to do it a different way, you could, what I did was I got myself, I typed in Google Dice into Google, and it gives you a dice. And so instead of using just 5 counters, I'm just going to put 5 different numbers. So if I rolled my dice, ooh, that's fancy. So I could have 1. So if I go back to here, say this is my place value column, I will just put maybe 1 in the first one, and then I'll go back to my dice, roll again, 2. So put a 2 in that one, roll again, 3, that's not very good, 3, roll again, 3 again, and roll one more time, 6. So I would have to do that 4 times, so I get 4 different numbers, because it's then asking you to write your numbers. So my first number is 12,336. Then I'd roll the dice 5 more times to get another number, 5 more times to get another number, and 5 more times to get my last number. Then B is write your numbers in order from smallest to greatest. Or if you have the counters or any sort of thing that you could use as counters, you can just make 5 different numbers using 5 counters. It doesn't really matter. You decide. So with 3, you've got a pair of numbers. So A is 10,000 and 1,000. It's asking you to circle the greatest number in each pair, the biggest number in each pair. For number 4, it says write the numbers in order starting with the smallest. So find which one's the smallest and then write that one first, then the next one until you've got the biggest on this side. And same with B. With 5, we're using these equivalency symbols to show if something is greater than, less than, or equal to another numbers. So for instance, if you're trying to say 908 is less than 909, so you can remember that. I usually remember it by the crocodile wants to eat the bigger number. So that's probably the best way of trying to remember it. So whichever number is the biggest one, have the open side pointing towards it. Okay, for number 6, you've got 5-digit cards, 8, 5, 7, 4, and 9. How many different 5-digit numbers can you make between 50,000 and 55,000 using those digit cards? So it's a little bit of an extra challenge here. So you'd want to have the 5s first, and then see how many numbers can you make between 50,000 and 55,000 as a challenge. And then write your answers in descending order. So from the biggest to the smallest. Number 7, you've got some different things, testing our knowledge from earlier on in the week. Comparing the numbers, so you've got some Roman numerals and some counters. So maybe try and think what are those numbers first of all, and then you can write the signs in there. And same with this one. For number 8, it says use these numbers to label the number line. So we've got some kind of work similar that we did to yesterday. And then finally, you've got to write all the possible digits that could make each statement correct. So here it's saying 9,751 is less than this number. So what numbers could go in there? So maybe think, could a 1 go in there? Could a 2 go in there? What numbers could go in there? And then the same for these ones. Okay, I hope you find that helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson.